The Indiana Fever and Washington Mystics are entering this matchup with very different narratives, but one similar goal to turn their seasons around. The Fever, headlined by the electrifying rookie Caitlin Clark, are still adjusting to life in the WNBA with a generational talent at the helm. Meanwhile, the Mystics are navigating a brutal losing streak, sitting winless at 0-10, desperately searching for a spark, any spark to ignite a comeback story. Clark, who stormed onto the national scene during her Iowa Hawkeyes days, has brought unprecedented attention to the Fever. Sold-out arenas, national broadcasts, and social media buzz have followed her everywhere. But fame and expectations don't win games. The Fever have struggled to find chemistry, often relying too much on Clark's heroics instead of establishing a balanced offensive rhythm. Their 2-9 record tells a story of a team still learning how to win. Clark's statistical impact is undeniable, averaging 15.6 points, 6.4 assists, and 4.9 rebounds per game. She has flashed the elite playmaking that scouts predicted. But she's also been turnover-prone, coughing up the ball nearly 5 times per game. That's the cost of having the ball in her hands so often, and of opposing teams scheming specifically to disrupt her flow. Her shot selection has also fluctuated, depending on how physical defenders have played her. Adjusting to WNBA-level defense is a steep learning curve for even the best rookies. On the other side, the Mystics are in survival mode. Injuries have stripped them of their core identity. Brittney Sykes, their heartbeat on both ends of the floor, is out. Shakira Austin, their rim protector and post anchor, is still sidelined. The franchise that once competed for WNBA titles now looks lost, leaning heavily on a mix of veterans like Ariel Atkins and emerging talents like Aaliyah Edwards to carry the load. Edwards, a top pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, has shown promise in her rookie campaign. Her ability to defend multiple positions and run the floor gives Washington some much-needed energy. But without Austin's size and Sykes' leadership, the Mystics are constantly overmatched. The defensive communication has suffered. Rotations are slower. They've struggled to stay in games past the third quarter. When you look at both teams on paper, this game feels like a winnable one for the Fever. But games aren't played on spreadsheets. They're fought possession by possession. And for the Mystics, this may be their best shot at snapping a brutal losing streak. Let's look at the injuries, because those could shape everything. As of now, Caitlin Clark is listed as questionable with a left quad strain. She missed the Fever's last outing, and although reports from practice suggest she's moving well, game time status will likely be decided just hours before tip-off. Aaliyah Boston is also battling some soreness, but all signs point to her suiting up. Damiris Dantas and Temi Fagbunle remain out, thinning Indiana's front court depth. Washington's situation is even bleaker. Shakira Austin's hip injury has kept her out multiple games, and Brittney Sykes' foot issue is expected to sideline her for at least another week. That's 2 starters gone, which means the likes of Aaliyah Edwards, Julie Van Loo, and Ariel Atkins will be asked to play extended minutes again. Statistically, neither team is lighting it up. Indiana ranks 10th in the WNBA in scoring, averaging just over 77 points per game. They shoot 42% from the field and 33% from beyond the arc. Turnovers are a major problem, coughing it up nearly 15 times per game, a number that kills momentum and leaves their defense vulnerable in transition. The Mystics? They're dead last in scoring, just 73.5 points per game. They shoot a lowly 39% from the field, and their rebounding has been dismal, ranking 11th in the league. It's not a lack of effort, it's simply that they don't have the personnel to compete against more talented rosters on most nights. So what does this matchup come down to? For Indiana, it's about playing their game. If Caitlin Clark is on the floor even at 80%, they have the better scorer, the better playmaker, and the better floor general. Her ability to stretch the defense with 30-foot range opens driving lanes for Kelsey Mitchell and interior touches for Boston. Clark's passing nearly 6.5 assists per game is already elite. She's more than a shooter. She's a creator. But if she sits, it puts a massive burden on Mitchell to create off the dribble. That could lead to rushed possessions and heavy minutes for backup point guard Erica Wheeler. Without Clark, Indiana becomes a half-court team, reliant on grinding out possessions through Boston in the post and hoping for defensive stops. Washington's keys are defensive disruption and second-chance points. Without stars, they need to create chaos, press full court, trap ball handlers, force Indiana into 17 or more turnovers, and they have a real chance to stay in this game. Edwards has to dominate the glass, Van Loo must shoot efficiently, and Atkins, as the only consistent scorer, needs a 20-point night, no question. The sportsbooks agree this is a close one. Indiana is a slight 3.5-point favorite. The over-under sits around 158.5 points, indicating that odds makers expect a tight, moderately high-scoring affair. Public money is leaning toward Indiana, especially with rumors of Clark's return gaining traction. But don't overlook the pressure. The Mystics are at home. They've lost 10 straight. No one wants to be the team that starts 0-11. If they come out swinging and Indiana is sluggish, this could turn into a slugfest. There are some intangibles worth discussing too. For one, the coaching battle. Christy Sides, Indiana's head coach, is still figuring out rotations that work. Her late-game decision-making has been questioned, particularly in close losses, where Clark was left on the bench for stretches. Meanwhile, Eric Thibault in Washington is doing everything he can with a depleted roster. His challenge is less about X's and O's and more about keeping morale high and energy up. Then there's the crowd. The Mystics fan base is loyal but weary. A strong first quarter could wake up the Capital One Arena and tilt the atmosphere into something hostile. But if Indiana jumps out to an early lead, don't be surprised if the energy fizzles. From a betting perspective, this game is one of the trickiest to read on the slate. Indiana is 3-8 against the spread this season, while Washington is an abysmal 1-9. That tells us neither team is outperforming expectations. The best play might be the under, especially if Clark doesn't suit up or is limited. In terms of advanced metrics, Indiana ranks 9th in net rating, largely due to their porous defense allowing 84.3 points per 100 possessions. The Mystics rank dead last in offensive rating and second to last in effective field goal percentage. This isn't a battle of titans, it's a battle of teams trying to avoid the bottom. Historically, these franchises have traded blows, but in recent years the Mystics have had the upper hand, especially during the Elena Del Don era. Now, with both teams in transition and neither roster at full strength, this feels like the dawn of a new chapter in their rivalry. This game also presents a reflection of how the WNBA is changing. It's no longer just about veteran stars. The league is becoming a proving ground for young talent. Between Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Edwards, fans are watching the future of the sport develop in real time. Rookie matchups like this aren't just entertaining, they're critical to the league's growth. And let's not overlook the media narrative. Clark's every move is scrutinized. Her supporters hail her as a revolutionary player for women's basketball. Critics say the hype is overblown. Games like this are proving grounds. Each assist, each turnover, each defensive switch feeds into the storylines that define careers. For better or worse, Clark plays under a microscope. If she can deliver and lead Indiana to victory, it adds to the legend. If not, the conversation shifts again. For Washington, this game is about pride. Teams that start 0-11 usually aren't playing for playoff spots, they're playing for dignity, for future contracts, and for the name on the front of the jersey. Players like Atkins and Edwards don't want their legacies tied to a historically bad season. They need this win to spark belief. So who wins? If Caitlin Clark plays, this is Indiana's game to lose. She elevates everything. Even her presence as a decoy helps. Aaliyah Boston should dominate inside, especially with Washington's lack of size. Kelsey Mitchell can cook if Clark bends the defense. If Clark is out, Indiana still has a better overall roster, but Washington's grit could pull them through. The Mystics are due, and winless teams don't go winless forever. But based on current injury trends, betting momentum, and performance trajectories, we're going with the Indiana Fever to get their third win of the season. Final score: prediction Indiana Fever 82, Washington Mystics 74. A breakout game from Boston, a steady performance from Mitchell, and 20-plus minutes from Caitlin Clark make the difference. The Mystics fight hard, but once again fall just short. This isn't just about wins and losses. This is about two teams searching for identity. About a rookie rewriting the WNBA spotlight. About a franchise trying to avoid the wrong kind of history. It's not a primetime matchup on paper, but in the hearts of these players, this might be the biggest game of their season. Thanks for watching Beyond the Box Score. If you enjoyed this deep breakdown and prediction, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next preview. We've got playoff races heating up, rising stars to track, and more big games to cover. Until next time, stay smart, stay sharp, and keep watching the game Beyond the Box Score.